And with the sun setting now right into the driver's eyes, the westerly sun right into their eyes as they come up the main straight, the field is on the racetrack now for the AUSCAR race, over 80 laps here at Adelaide International Raceway. And this promises to be one of the hardest fought races we've seen in a long time. Only 1 second separates the top 10 competitors. John Faulkner, the lap record holder, 25.369. Young Mark Seaton has gone under his record with a time of 25.3270. There are the AUSCAR point standings as they are at the moment. Brad Jones, 4 times winner on 525 points. Behind him, Peter Fitzgerald. Then comes John Faulkner. These 3 guys likely to race hammer and tongs today, but don't discount Terry Wyhoon, and don't discount also Grant Munday and the Bow Repairs car. Just 2 laps now remaining before the start of this event. And on pole position, as I said, is Mark Seaton in the DFS Health Insurance Ford Falcon. And this is the first time, Gerald McDonald, a Falcon's been on pole since October 1991.
Quite amazing. The Falcons have showed a lot of promise, but haven't quite done it. There's the top 6. Mark Seaton in the Ford EB Falcon. Right alongside him, John Faulkner, the Better Appliance Stores Commodore. Brad Jones sits in 3rd. And then Grant Munday in 5th, and Peter Fitzgerald in 6th.
The field goes on. Marshall Brewer, of course, in 6th position, and you go right down through the field until you find a controversy. Ken Ianson had in fact been the 2nd fastest qualifier on 25.4211, but an alleged irregularity was found in the fuel that he used on that flying lap, and he's been relegated, Alan Gross, to the back of the grid.
Well, I know what it's like to be on the back of the grid, but in my case, it was here 12 months ago. In fact, I was late to a driver's meeting, and I was put on the back of the grid from pole to right down the back. So they get pretty savage here at Adelaide.
Ken Ianson currently holds 26th position in the...
I can see leaning there on the warm-up. They're actually leaning on each other right at the beginning, Faulkner.
They certainly are. We're about to go racing in the Petters AUSCAR Classic. Seaton controlling the start with John Faulkner alongside.
Faulkner's hand up, trying to see into the sunshine. Finally, they get the green flag and they go.
Very slow start. That was definitely a tactic on Seaton's behalf. He's pulled them back to a 1st gear start. That's very unusual. Normally they get away in 2nd or 3rd gear.
4 abreast as they come around at the back of the field.
Faulkner looking for a way down the inside already, coming up into turn 3. Can't do it, drops back behind. Unlikely he'll have a go coming onto the straight because of that sunshine.
Brad Jones just sitting back in 3rd position. But it's Seaton in the Falcon out in front with Faulkner. And it must be getting even more difficult as the minutes tick on by with that sun setting in the west coming up the main straight. Look at that right now. That's the graphic vision of what the drivers are seeing.
80 laps, 64.4 kilometres around Adelaide International Raceway. And Alan, it's unlikely that the tyres will go the distance.
No, they've all been having a lot of tyre wear here, although some of the temperature's gone out. It's late in the afternoon with that terrible sun problem they're going to have for a little while. But that has brought the temperature down. That has brought the track temperature down. That does bring the tyre wear down, and the cars go just that little bit quicker.
So slow was that start that the first lap was only 52.5 seconds. So almost, oh no, that's 2 laps, of course. So about 26 seconds the first lap.
As Faulkner is all over Seaton, he's sitting in, pushing. He's feinting this way, feinting that, and the way Faulkner goes, he could sort of overdo it a little bit here, I got the feeling. He's pushing into this corner very hard, right into the... In fact, he went a little hard and a little wide that time. And Jones is just sitting there.
And Faulkner, of course, came out of this turn earlier in qualifying, and just as they get onto the main straight, he tagged the wall with the back of the car. He also had a major off in the NASCAR qualifying NASCAR practice yesterday. So it certainly has been an eventful weekend and a busy one for his crew.
And Bradley Jones is looking good at this point. Brad always, I think, uses his head early in these races. Faulkner and Seaton, you see their cars twitching. Jones is trying to keep his car terribly straight, but he's got the added problem, of course, of the 2 cars behind him, one of which has gone round. Monday's gone round, and it's
Fitzgerald with him. So Peter Fitzgerald in the Hardy Ducks car, Falcon tyres.
Would not be a happy person at all.
Not at all. It's a strange thing for Munday to do, wasn't it, really?
Now, have they seen the yellow again? Have they seen the yellow? I think they're still racing. I think the
yellows are out.
But they've picked it up now. Yeah, it's getting terribly hard to see that the yellow when it comes out.
This will be interesting. We'll see on the replay. Here comes...
yes. Fitz is giving him the little...
Yep.
Fitzgerald's getting the little touch up on the back, and Munday goes in, back out, and then squeezes Fitzgerald in. No, I might be wrong. I think Fitzgerald might have gone through after that. I'd like to...
No, he did go in under. And unfortunately, with such difficult conditions the other way...
You can see Fitzgerald right behind.
Yeah, it is Fitz.
Maybe gave him the tap. Maybe gave him the tap.
Yeah, Fitz... Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. Fitz has given him the tap, and then the squeeze into the wall. Well, you get all sorts of... There'll be... One thing is for sure, you'll get two completely different stories of that incident from either of those drivers.
And Bo is certainly backed into the fence.
Backed into the fence. And really, unfortunately, Fitzy looked to be at fault there. We say look, but the particular section of the track that he was on, we've said it before, the sunlight, the setting sun really must have been right in his eyes at that stage.
Yeah, I'd like to suggest that the drivers were starting to get a little bit frustrated behind Mark Seaton. It was a very tight-packed field, and arguably going into the corners, he was just holding them up that little bit, Alan, which was maybe frustrating Fitzgerald.
I'm sure it was, but that's the leader's prerogative. He's got the leader in a motor race has got the right to pick where he runs on the road, and it's up to the people behind to go under, around, or pull out, past, under brakes, whatever. It's up to them to get past.
The top five so far, of course, are Mark Seaton. We see the Bow Repairs car on screen of Grant Munday back.
Bow's back again.
Yep. Mark Seaton's first, John Faulkner still in second, and Brad Jones in third. Nathan Pretty sitting in fourth. He's so far leading the Rookie of the Year points. And Bruce Williams, who was runner-up in the championship, is in fifth position. We saw the big crowd here on hand at Adelaide International Raceway. And the South Australian fans are certainly taken to NASCAR and AUSCAR racing, and have voted with their feet and bums on seats.
Well, they're going to have to lift. Obviously, there must be a lot of damage to the front right of that, the front left of that car. They're obviously going to sling it up onto the truck and get it out of the road.
And the good news for Grant Munday is that he's still on the lead lap, so he's not lost a lap in that incident. Albeit he'll be starting from the back of the pack.
Yeah, it doesn't matter all that much. Plenty of laps to go, and I can't see any smoke coming off his car from where he might have a fender rubbing on the tyre. I think he's been pretty lucky there.
Yeah, I think he has escaped out of that very, very well.
And the current placings, as you can see, still put Mark Seaton in the lead, John Faulkner in second, Brad Jones in third, Nathan Pretty, who's Brad Jones' protege, I guess you'd say, 20 years of age, in fifth position, and then Bruce Williams followed by Paul Fordham. So one Falcon in the top bunch.
And
two Falcons, I'm sorry, yes, two Falcons in the top bunch.
And one bent Commodore on the infield.
Yes, indeed.
So the car's coming around, and we believe that the lights are going to go out on the pace car you see coming onto the main straight. Great crowd in the background. Lights are out, and that means there will be one more pace car lap, and then we're back into racing.
Let's watch this start and see if the same thing happens. It was a very slow start. The cars run quite low diffs here, so first gear is going to be very low speed. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for the same sort of start again. He's got Faulkner behind him, so I'd say he would. I'd say he'll go for another very slow start, because the cars have to pack up behind him until he decides to go.
Crossy, we saw in the sportsman race, we saw Matty White really control the starts fantastically. Perhaps it's a little bit early in the race, but I wonder if those guys watched what Matty White did, because it was really great control.
But these blokes up the front of Auscar are a lot more experienced at rolling starts and restarts, and they'll pick the appropriate gear to be in. Whatever they'll look at their revs and see what revs they're doing in which particular gear. They'll go down a gear if necessary. I'm sure you'll see the front half dozen at least start in the right gear, which I don't think happened in the sports.
Ready for a restart now as the pace car pulls off the track, and again very slowly, excruciatingly slowly, comes car 23. Mark Seaton down to the line, dead into it. John Faulkner right in behind him, but can't get alongside Brad Jones in third position. Then Nathan Pretty behind him.
A little bit of tapping going on behind there. Looked to be Richard Howe, but coming up the back straight, the 23 DFS health insurance car of Mark Seaton. Then it's Faulkner sitting with Brad Jones right on his tail, Nathan Pretty, and then Bruce Williams.
Yes, you just get the feeling that that something is going to happen here. Seaton was a little defensive then when he pulled across, but as I said, that's his prerogative. But Faulkner's a charger, and I don't know how long he'll keep his cool here. He's got a lot of laps to go. He really doesn't have to do anything at this stage.
We're only on lap 12 of 80 laps. So even well short of a quarter way through race distance.
You just wait. This time at the end of the straight, Faulkner will have a bit of a run on the outside. Will that give him enough to be able to pull up on? No, it can't.
That seemed to be a strange move by Faulkner coming into the turn.
As much as anything, I think he was just pulling a bit of a bluff on Jones. But here's Faulkner up on the outside of him on this time through, but he's not going to get around that way. He'll cross and try and come on the inside. No, Seaton just holds his line tight and says, do your best.
Had it been later in the race, of course, Jones could well have forced his nose down the inside of Faulkner at that point. But this early into the event, Jones, a seasoned campaigner, would prefer to play it safe.
But this is torrid stuff. I mean, it's hammer and tongs. Faulkner's driving every trick in the book. Seaton's just holding his defensive line, and at the moment, nothing more than that. But it'll accelerate, and I hope it doesn't this early in the race. I think a little more patience yet.
Nathan Pretty in 4th position, Bruce Williams in 5th, Paul Fordham in 6th. Then comes Marshall Brewer, followed by Terry Wyhoon, Wayne Jones and Rodney Jane in car 7, rounding out the top 10.
It's fantastic. The first 7 cars are separated by just 2 seconds. And Faulkner trying the outside line again. Here comes Brad Jones right around the outside. Boy, what a brave move this time. He nearly pulled that one off. He's had to control the car very, very well coming onto the main straight.
Jones hangs in there, round turn 1, coming into turn 2.
This is brave racing by Bradley Jones. Of course, the leader in the series so far.
Bradley, give it up.
He's seriously
drop back behind Bradley. I mean, we're down 15 laps in an 80-lap event. You don't need to be that brave this early.
Is he putting the pressure on and then hoping to drop back and maybe watch the other guys make a mistake? I don't know. There certainly seems to be no better master at
he's certainly putting the pressure on Smiles.
This time, but look at that Bradley this time. Yeah, okay, that's 1 car down. Maybe because of course the combination of the Falcon and the Commodore on the inside make up one big long car. There's no room in between them for Bradley Jones.
How long is he going to live on the outside? He's hanging in. He's been there's that leaning. Yeah, just a little bit of a lean.
Gee, you put your faith in Faulkner, don't you?
So Bradley, he's got a tag on the door as well. You saw that the tyre mark come up on the number 8. Great vision as they're coming out of turn 3 and 4. Brad Jones on the outside.
There's no way in the wide world he's going to get through, is there?
Well, if he hangs out there long enough.
Now, that's 5 laps in a row. They've basically come out of the main straight and they're in exactly the same position. This time,
Bradley's going to go deep this time. He's going...
Oh, look at this. All he's got to do is get the gypsy tap on the inside, and Bradley's got it. He didn't. He's got through. Sensational stuff.
Yeah, that's top drive.
He put his faith so much in Mark Seaton at that point, because all Seaton had to do was just give him that slight tap on the corner, and Jones was into the scenery.
You can see right there, right across the number, the tyre mark from where Faulkner tagged him a lap ago.
Now Faulkner's got the nod, and he's going to go for the outside too.
Nathan Pretty sitting back in Bradley's old car. I believe Nathan is actually a relative of Brad Jones and doing a fabulous job. 4th position.
Faulkner's going to try the outside. No. Pulls over again to try and get an inside run up into the next corner.
Nathan Pretty, meantime, in car 2, an ex-Brad Jones car, in fact. And Brad spent a bit of time in the car this week, setting it up for him here at Adelaide International Raceway. Quite a deal of controversy raging in the sport at the moment.
Here's the push down the inside. He's got the push. Yes,
and Faulkner's done it.
Yeah. Well, that was a good pass. He persevered. He got a good run off the corner. He did it all the right way. He forced his way down, but I mean the gap was there. That was fine.
And the controversy raging is that private practice should be limited by regulation, thereby preventing people from spending too much time and too much money getting their cars ready for these races.
Yeah, there's 2 sides to that argument, John. One is that you do spend money testing. but it's money that you need to spend to catch the blokes in front. I mean, if the leaders are the leaders, they've got their horsepower, they've got their cars set up, they've got the experience and miles under the belt. If a new guy coming into the sport can't spend the days getting the miles together, what chances has he ever got of closing the gap on miles and experience to the lead guys?
Well, take Nathan Pretty as an exact example. He needs miles under the belt. He wouldn't be in the position he's in at the moment if he hadn't done several days testing here at Adelaide.
No, certainly. Motor racing is no different to any other competitive sport. It's the miles that you do. It's the amount of time that you practice the exercise of the discipline. I mean, if you want to play golf and be a professional golfer, you hit the golf ball thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and it's exactly the same in swimming, where you go up and down the pool, and it's exactly the same in motor racing, where you need to polish the discipline and do lap after lap after lap. How are you going to get up the front runners as a newcomer to the sport if you can't practice?
Perhaps no better demonstration of that was Michael Andretti in Formula One last year with McLaren. He's gone back to IndyCar racing, and it can only hurt the up-and-comers and also the guys who are trying to, as you said, get up to the front of the field. Nathan Pretty doing a great job. There's Bruce Williams, the Bendix Ultimate car. He's sitting back. He came second in the championship last year. Hasn't had the best of season so far. On screen at the moment, though, Brad Jones in first. And Faulkner's trying on the inside line. Oh, they tag each other.
Twice, 3 times, 4 times. Don't know quite then whether Bradley was simply fighting back or trying to stay off the wall with the way he was punching his way into the side of Faulkner.
No, they were just pretty interested in having that same piece of road, weren't they?
Sure were. Faulkner ends up the winner, of course, by a factor of probably 2 car lengths.
Yes, Bradley just went a little wide coming into that corner, and it was about an inch less of a hole than Faulkner needed, but he made it fit.
We've seen these two guys battle like this at the Thunderdome, and it sometimes appears as though Brad Jones drops back quite dramatically. But then he comes back strong and always does extremely well. John Faulkner, 2 years ago here at Adelaide Raceway, top qualified in Auscar. He set the fastest lap. He also got best appearing car and crew award, and he took out the race. Now, it's going to be hard to do it this time, though.
Yeah, I believe Bradley's, it's that time of the race, I'd say, that Bradley's starting to think about his tyres. There's been the initial skirmish on, swapped a bit of paint, changed some positions. They all got past Seaton. I think Brad will probably sit now and try and keep his car straight, keep the tyre wear down, and let's see what Faulkner does. Faulkner is not known for that sort of heady driving. Let's see how he approaches it. He's still looking a little sideways to me.
Interestingly enough here, Alan, these cars are actually racing in 3rd gear, aren't they?
Yes, they are out here, yes.
Whereas they get 4th gear, of course, at the Thunderdome. Here, because the track's shorter, they actually, by regulation, have to run a different rear differential ratio and then run in 3rd gear to keep their revs right up.
The average lap in qualifying, Mark Seaton took pole position. He averaged 125.08 kilometres per hour around the complete half mile, or 0.805 of a kilometre circuit. And that, of course, is around 125 kilometres, around about 75 miles per hour average. So on the main straights, they're hitting somewhere around about 110 miles per hour.
The sun now sinking very, very quickly indeed in the west, taking the pressure off the drivers as they come up the main straight. And in fact, there's a fairly good bet that the last part of this race, at least, will be run in semi-darkness. That'll be difficult with grime all over the windscreens and the eyes having to iris down and adjust to the falling dark.
Yes, well, it'll be quite dark when I get out there, I'm sure, on the NASCAR.
Grant Munday, just a quick one. Grant Munday, after his earlier spin with John, is back up to 9th position, so doing a good job of coming through the field.
Yes.
Just on 1 second now separates this man, John Faulkner, from Brad Jones in 2nd position, with 32 laps down of an 80-lap event. This car's racing on road-going radial Goodyears. which has been buffed right down.
I'll spare a thought for those tyres. I mean, they're a tyre that's available to the public. Most of these cars have got about 360 horsepower. They're set up very hard, and they're sliding most of the time around this bowl. Look, that car is sliding. You can see him working on the wheel, but he's still keeping it straight. He's not allowed to get sideways, but they're a standard road tyre. So when you really put that into perspective and put it on the bolted onto your standard road car, there's a pretty good margin for safety there, isn't there?
And Alan, just to put 350 horsepower into perspective, we've said it once before, but it's worth saying again, when you set the first ever 100 miles an hour touring car lap record around Bathurst, you were putting out less horsepower than these AUSCARs are.
Yeah, I must have been mad.
We thought so at the time. We watch car 25. That's Terry Wyhoon, the young man from Victoria, who is really an oval specialist, while the guys in front of him, Faulkner and Jones, of course, are well used to flat track racing on circuits. Wyhoon really has grown up in the wild and woolly days of Speedway racing, and he's doing a very good job for a young man.
Tell you what, who's sitting right on his tail, the red Commodore, is Ken Ianson, the 04 car. Ken, of course, qualified second on the grid, but there was an irregularity with the fuel sample taken from his car, and he's made his way back up through the pack.
So from 21st position on the grid, he's now up into 7th place and working his way through the field. Obviously from here on in, as he starts to come up to the good guys like Wyhoon, it's going to be harder to pull back every position.
Really doing a great job in front of his hometown crowd, Ken Ianson.
Oh, Wyhoon won't give it away, will he? Look at that. And ultimately is forced to.
And Hansen is sliding his car about a bit. I think he's really had to push it hard to get through the pack, and he may suffer a little later. That happens to you, of course. You get put back behind the pack. You've got to run. You've got to charge through. You've got to get up there somewhere, not to the front, but you've got to get up to the leading group at this stage of the game. And that, of course, takes the edge right off your tyres. And then that can come back against you later in the race. Wyhoon also sliding a little. You can see him mainly with the tail out, but there's Faulkner still in the lead. They've just lapped some cars now, and that's certainly helped him with pulling away from Bradley Jones. They've just lapped 3 or 4 cars together, and we've got a yellow. We've got a yellow. There's a pace car's on the way out. It must be debris. I did notice the Bow Repairs car had the Bow Repairs car has got a rear bumper missing, and it's over in turn 3, the beginning of turn 3.
There it is. So this is on screen at the moment.
I noticed that flapping away like a big bad elephant here a little while ago.
So almost exactly at half distance, 39 laps completed of an 80-lap race, and the yellow comes out. Now this will be interesting to see who, if anyone, takes the opportunity now to head for the pits and do a tyre change this early in the event.
I'd say it's 40 halfway, isn't it?
It's 40 halfway, therefore you've got to reckon they've got to be considering it.
It'd be odds on major pit stops here coming up, I would think.
And quite interesting, like the last time at the Calder Park Thunderdome, the Yellow Terror AUSCAR half race leader award. John Faulkner was the winner there. He also wins the award here again this time at Adelaide International Raceway. It's got a set of Yellow Terror
Faulkner's in the pits. Jones is in the pits now. There is a speed limit in the pits. Faulkner's going very quickly, but he's got to slow down from here.
He would want to, because they were going to 15-second black flag stop-go penalty them.
Yes.
They're going to have to come in and stop for 15 seconds. If they didn't obey the speed limit, which I believe was about 25 kilometres per hour.
Yes, some of them are coming in too quick, but they're getting on the brakes pretty quickly and slowing down.
Brad Jones was one man who really protested that. There's the speed gun there. Now they're going to give them penalties if they come in better than 25 kilometres an hour. Brad Jones said at the drivers' meeting this morning, my car will stall at 25 kilometres an hour.
Yes, there's a very good reason for it. There's a very good reason. The pit row here for a NASCAR quick stop situation is very, very narrow. It wasn't built for this category of racing. So what they've had to do, the organisers have had to do, is take the practical and logical step of making the cars go slowly, because the last thing anybody wants is to see a mechanic who's out there changing a wheel, doing his absolute best for the team, and see him run over. It's happened before in the States. We don't want it to happen here.
Indeed, as 04 Ken Ianson goes out to rejoin the race.
You can can see there now that the sun has set in the background. So that factor has certainly gone out the window.
Well, I think tyres are not going to be a problem now because they've got a new set on. Got a new set on at halfway, and the temperature's gone out of the track with the sun just setting, so they're set for the 40 laps home.
And with the field now following the pace car round at Adelaide International Raceway, Mark Seaton is the only one of the leaders who didn't make a pit stop during this pace car lap at the 40 lap halfway mark. Brad Jones is back in 12th position, having made his stop. John Faulkner is in 11th position now, having made his pit stop. So the start will come from about the 6th row of the grid for those two lead drivers. Seaton's taken a big gamble. Question is, can he hold out another 40 laps without needing tyre changes? Alan Grice.
Oh, it's a gutsy manoeuvre. I've heard all the drivers complaining that they would just get halfway with their tyres, and they've seen him staying out on his. It's a gutsy manoeuvre, but he's not a fool. He's having a guess, having a punt.
Quite interesting. One of the drivers that stayed out was Bruce Williams in the Ultimate car. Bruce was telling me earlier in the day that, in fact, the guys here ran out of the tyres, out of new tyres, and he, in fact, is going to do the whole race distance on second-hand ones. So they're not coming in now on second-hand tyres. It's going to make it all the more difficult for him.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Sometimes you find also that I think we've got a start coming up, but sometimes you find also the cars that have been tyres that have been used before in hot and cold, they get a little bit more resilient. You get more mileage out of them. We're ready for a start.
Certainly are, and Mark Seaton holding the guys back this time. Well, it appears as though Richard Howe, no, he's right, he's down a few laps, but Mark Seaton's down the outside. Back in the field, Bradley Jones and John Faulkner are way back there.
Side by side, however.
Boy, they've got some traffic to get through to try and get some nice, clean racing.
Here's what I noticed back there. Bradley gave Faulkner the shuffle too, but Faulkner's going to come round.
Howe giving Seaton all sorts of carry up here in the lead. Now Howe is down in the field in terms of laps, but he's right on the pace here.
Brad Jones being black flag for passing. Black flag, that is a big one. He's going to get a stop-go penalty.
Oh, that's going to make it awful tough for Bradley. He's not coming in. No, he's not coming in at this stage.
Richard Howe is lying 17th in the... Oh, there we go, sideways, touches. Nathan Pretty was involved in that car too.
Saw the black flag waving there from the crow's nest as they went by the start-finish.
Bradley's gone by, he obviously didn't see it. Maybe told by his pit crew.
Yes, he can tell by his pit crew over the two-way radios.
And then we'll have to make his decision. And in the pits is Ian Campbell.
I understand Bradley Jones has been giving a stoppage, Joe, for passing on the wrong side on the restart. They're expecting him in any time now.
He's right on you now, Ian. You can see him coming into the pits and there's someone else coming in behind.
I tell you, interesting, we spoke about Bruce Williams not going in and pitting for new tyres. He's copped a hit. He's also lost a front tyre. It's right down. You see it right there. The Ultimate team, one of the crew guys falls over. New tyres coming out. Brad Jones well on the way though.
And Jones back in the motor race again, and we'll give you an update very shortly on where he lies in the event. Certainly no longer in the top 10, I can tell you that. Mark Seaton is the race leader.
The big thing about the stop-go penalties here at Adelaide International Raceway is that the track is so small, it's only 0.8 of a kilometre, and it doesn't take long to lose a lap.
But look at this, Richard Howe still continues to lead Mark Seaton, the actual race leader.
Well, that puts him back on the same lap, you see. He's trying to unlap himself. What he's actually doing is he's praying that we're yellow, because the pace car will come out in front of Seaton, who is the race leader. That'll allow him to go all the way around and catch up and get back a lap. That's the way you can catch up a lap on this in this sort of racing.
Look now at John Faulkner starting to threaten there in car 46, moving up through the field.
Yes, Faulkner's going very hard at the moment. He's come right through the field. He's just, when he passed Brewer, he pulled straight away from him.
Brad Jones back in 12th spot. He hasn't lost a lap, but he's around 16 seconds off Seaton. 50 laps down, or on lap 51. There's John Faulkner. He's now back up to second spot. He's 2.15 seconds away from Mark Seaton, the leader in the DFS Falcon.
Well, Brad Jones could come back into it, but there'll be no cruising from here. If he's to get back up into the lead pack, it's going to be flat out from here on in.
He's really got to prey on a yellow caution period.
Yes, a yellow would put him straight back there, but he's still got to pass the cars. It's not easy to pass cars around a little bowl like this.
88 on Davies pulls to the pits. Meantime, here's Faulkner coming right up now onto the back of Seaton. So this is Faulkner on Seaton, the blue car on the inside.
And Bruce Williams has passed Seaton.
So Bruce Williams has unlapped himself.
Look at Faulkner on the outside of Seaton. You've got a new race leader. It's John Faulkner.
Well, he did that easily. That was surprising the way he pulled away there.
Brad Jones last lap 25.99 seconds. Looks as though Seaton has a problem, I think.
Well, just at this twilight period of time with the light changing so much out there, easy to get yourself a little bit confused, I'd suggest, as a driver out there. With cars all around him just then. Mark Seaton maybe not absolutely certain.
No, I think it's worth touch and go and how you hear it. I think it's worth saying that the pictures that you're actually seeing show a lot more daylight than is actually the truth. The cameras are compensating for it. To the naked eye, it's much, much darker. It is really into twilight to the naked eye. But the Dick
goes car 11. That was Richard Howe.
He didn't get in the wall. He got terribly high and out of camera. Right out of camera. He slid out of camera. But he's back on the control seat. It's just past him. That puts him. That keeps him his lap down, of course. Now if there's a yellow, he's got no chance of getting it back.
Bruce Williams is lap down and he's back in 15th spot. But there's John Faulkner, the leader, the better electrical. Holden Commodore heading up the back straight.
Well, he's pulling away now. He's really making the charge. There's 25 laps to go, and Faulkner is putting it on. He's going away from Seaton.
In the first 3 rounds of the Petters Auscar Classic this year, Bradley Jones has won all 3. He's taken a maximum 525 points. John Faulkner has had a 2nd, a 3rd, and an 11th at Calder Thunderdome in December. He's lying 3rd in the championship on 465. Frankly, I think it's a nice thing to see. I don't mean this in any disparaging form to Bradley. A nice thing to see the Jones duck broken just ever so slightly in terms of the absolute domination of this man, Bradley Jones.
Well, Bradley's certainly doing his best to come back through the field, but I don't believe he's really gaining on Faulkner. He's coming back through the field, and they're all important places that he's picking up because they're all extra points each time he goes past the car.
I think he's back. He is definitely back up into the top 10. He's 15 seconds behind Faulkner, and he's actually lost around about half a second on that particular lap. So the job is certainly in front of him. 59 laps down.
Yellow, we've got a yellow. Yes, it's another bumper off at the end of the front straight.
He's just been hit by one of the cars as they went through.
Yeah, we've got another rear bumper section off.
Gee, that's got to do Brad Jones some good. He was 15.292 seconds down. That's the bumper off Bruce Williams, Commodore.
Off the back of it.
Yes.
And this caution, you see Bruce Williams going past there, the Ultimate car without a bumper, and there's also Grant Munday, the Bow Repairs car without a bumper. But this has really got to help Bradley Jones. He was a long way back. He's got to get through the traffic, but all of a sudden that gap will be 5 seconds instead of 15.
Yes, it's a big help to him. He's still got to pass some pretty quick cars on a difficult circuit. But I just want to make mention again that it's much darker out there in reality than it is on your picture. It's very difficult conditions out there at the moment for the drivers because the lights, it's not like the lights at the cricket. They really haven't come on to a degree to really light the track up yet.
And there goes Mark Seaton now heading for the pits. He'll take this opportunity to take new rubber.
Along with Terry Wyhoon. Grant Munday has gone all of the way back up to 2nd position because of Seaton going into the pit area. So that's great from that early spin.
Oh, look at this.
Good effort.
Terry Wyhoon wanted tyres and Seaton parked right at his spot.
And he's backed up, and you're not allowed to back up in the pit, so one problem compounds another. Now he's stalled it.
And of course you must park within your pit lane in your case.
Yes, you do.
So that wouldn't surprise me to see him get a stop-go penalty for that.
Yeah.
What's going on in the boot, Alan Gross, do you think?
Well, they're not putting fuel in.
No. So what's the problem at the moment with Terry Wyhoon? The answer we get is it's an SBS camera in the car that needs some repair.
There's the SBS pit crew. Well done, boys.
Fantastic.
SBS along with SMS.
And we're told that there's just one lap remaining now behind the pace car.
The lights are still on.
Before we get underway, so as the pace car comes through this time, the lights will go out. And there'll be one lap.
Seaton's gone back into the pit area. Would he have come out to try and maintain that lap?
And Ian Campbell is in the pits.
John, there's been a certain amount of discrepancy amongst the crews. They've been arguing with race officials down here. Read the exit speeds from pits. They're looking into it at the moment. There's a lot of controversy down here over the 25k rule.
Ian Campbell, we always knew it was going to be on 25k as his kind of walking speed for a guy who's just come off the track doing 140. There's the Mark Seaton car. What's the problem?
I think he might have gone out to try and remain on the lead lap. Maybe it was a bit of play by the team. DFS car about to go back out here.
Well, the lights are out on the pace car. The pace car is midway between turns 2 and 3. No doubt Seaton will catch the rear of the grid of the field here before the race gets back underway on lap 61 of 80.
Well, Seaton, when he came out, I'm almost sure, behind Jones. No, I think it's Pretty.
Yep.
Yes, he pitted a second time also.
And pace car lights are out. Stevie Harrington driving the pace car today at Adelaide International Raceway. We're about to go racing again. John Faulkner in the lead with Grand Munday, the Borough Repairs Commodore, sitting in second spot. Pace car pulls in and we are about to go racing. Green flag coming out. John Mostina, the cheap starter, gives away.
John Faulkner just jumps into the lead. Top stuff. We're told Brad Jones is up to 7th place already. But Faulkner knows that the only way he's going to hold off the very determined Brad Jones is to really sprint for it now in the remaining 18 laps.
And really, that time Faulkner controlled that start, much like we saw in the Sportsman race.
Yes, he got a good jump there, certainly.
The Borough Repairs Commodore of Grand Munday sitting in second spot. He's done a great job, funnily enough, the two Commodores there without the back bumpers. But he has done a great job in coming right up through the field from last spot. There's Faulkner working hard. He took the win here 2 years ago.
Faulkner, the expert on left foot braking, came out of go-karts many years ago and can't forget the technique. Always uses his left foot on the brake to steady the car as he goes through a corner.
If I tried to use left foot brake, I think I'd trip and fall out of the car. I've tried it many times. It just doesn't work for me.
It is a technique, isn't it, Alan? I mean, it just varies driver to driver as to whether they feel comfortable with it. For me, keeping your left foot firmly planted in the firewall so that
Footrest.
As a footrest is the way to go.
Brad Jones up the 6th spot. He's only 5.5 seconds off the lead. He's about to challenge Paul Fordham to try and take 4th spot.
Jones looking everywhere for the way through, isn't he?
Rodney Jane doing a great job there as well, hitting Falcon. But there's Brad Jones, 4 times Auscar Australian champion. Currently 6th. He's about to go.
Giving Fordham the big tap. Get out of the way. I want to come through, says Bradley, and he's a very forceful person.
He has got the pedal to the metal. Fordham tries to push him over.
He's grounded him a bit, yes, but Bradley's hung in there. Now he's got Marshall Brewer in front. He's the next one. He's the next one in the gun sights. And Marshall got a little bit sideways there too.
Bradley certainly believes in his ability, doesn't he? There's very few people around who believe as much as Bradley does that this racetrack is his and his property.
He certainly stands by his convictions that he can drive these cars well. Marshall Brewer's a lap down. Quite surprised. He must have got trapped in pit lane. The car popping a little bit there. A bit of flame coming out. Underlines this racing really is spectacular here at Adelaide Raceway.
Yes, it certainly is. I think Marshall's pulled over and let Bradley past him there because he's a lap down. He's the sort of guy that he's going to come back at him.
Oh, he's got him. He's got him. Jones got him. Oh, Brewer's gone. Has Jones saved it?
Jones. He's kept it alive. Jones got past. The pace car's out, but everything's under control when Marshall Brewer returns.
Lap 68 that occurred upon.
Got a yellow.
Well,
That's another yellow for Bill Jones.
That is unbelievable.
When he was going sideways towards the wall with full lock on, I don't think...
Here we go, have a look. Here we go, Marshall Brewer on the inside. Gives him the big tap. Bradley just pulls on the speedway opposite lock and saves it.
Yeah, Seaton did a very good job to miss it all too. In fact, they all did a good job. That's very good driving.
It's quite amazing how tight the circuit is, and we mentioned it earlier in the sportsman race, how tight the circuit is and the amount of incidents that we don't have. Well, there is such good driving to get out of it.
They are doing a very good job on a very difficult track.
Well, how many locks of opposite are there on a Holden Commodore? Because Bradley had all of them on, and he had them on in an instant.
Well, he's got the, for this sort of racing, he's got the grease nipples where embedded in his elbows.
Here it comes again from another angle.
So he's already a little loose, then he gets the touch, but he got that lock on very quickly.
Oh, yeah, great driving.
The two of them, just for that moment there, looked like sprint cars, didn't they? Just sideways, coming out of the corner, full power on.
A little bit more locked up behind.
Yeah. Okay, we know that next time round we'll be racing again at Adelaide International Raceway. There's the starter with his finger out indicating one to go. He takes the flag in, puts the finger out. Nine laps of racing remaining.
Well, I might just make it through the 9 laps, John, because as you know, I've got to go and get in my NASCAR and kit myself all up. It takes about 10 minutes to get into things with all the radios and things that are on. I think I'll probably make it to the end.
And then there's the prayers you have to offer, Alan.
All of that.
Yes, too true. Yeah. Car 1, Alan Grice will be in very shortly on SBS television. Over 100 laps of NASCAR racing. 100 laps is a long way around Adelaide, eh?
It's a long way around anywhere. You walked around half a lap.
I know how long that took. Car 49 in the pits. That's Wayne Jones.
Yeah, the Wayne Jones Commodore. We're about to go racing again. You see the lights out on the EB Falcon pace car. Faulkner in the lead currently. Then in second is Grant Munday. Can I answer up to third? Great job from him. Terry Wyhoon fourth. Max Dejersey up in the fifth. And in sixth spot is Brad Jones.
Faulkner right to go. Flag out and Faulkner guns it, but not nearly as quick as he did in the past restarts. Still, it's academic because he takes the lead.
Has Munday missed out a bit?
Yeah. Here comes Jones.
Jones sitting back there. He's about 7 cars off the lead. That got a little bit sideways. Well, that was Wyhoon. There's Faulkner with Bruce Williams sitting right up. Whoa, look, there's Freight Train behind with Munday, Wyhoon, and also Max Dejersey. And then there's Bradley sitting back.
Yeah, 8 laps remaining now. There's very little Bradley can do to get up to John Faulkner.
Of course, Auscar and NASCAR racing, the point system is all about consistency. We've said it before. And to win a championship, you must finish races, and that's what it's all about.
And in about 8 hours' time, Bradley will be on an aircraft, in fact, heading for Sydney for the Triple Challenge at Eastern Creek, where he'll be racing a Commodore. So a big weekend of racing for Bradley Jones.
So John Faulkner doing a good job out in front there. We're on lap 74 of 80 laps in the Petters Auscar Classic. It's part of the 1994 Goodyear Auscar Series. Faulkner currently in the point standings is in third position.
He's looking pretty comfortable now. In fact, he is actually driving his car a little straighter now than he has earlier in the day. So I think he's got this car pretty well, this race pretty well under control.
It'll be a big night of racing for John Faulkner, of course, because he steps straight from this into his NASCAR as well to race you, Alan Gross. And that's asking a lot of anyone to do 180 laps around here.
Yes, but you find that when you've got to do that sort of thing, you get out of the first car not very tired, get out of the second car sometimes not very tired, get out of the third one, that's okay. Then you realise what you've just done, and it's all over. But while the adrenaline's going, you'll be right.
5 laps remaining now here at Adelaide International Raceway. The sunshine is almost gone. There's just a golden glow in the western sky now.
We're actually starting to get shadows from the lights now onto the track from the car, so that tells you how dark it really is.
Just the 4 laps remaining, and that last yellow flag has been of great benefit to John Faulkner. It's given him a nice clear track to make the run home to the flag. So the better electrical car now coming out of turn number 4, heading onto the main straight. A great Adelaide race crowd here watching this meeting.
And Bradley Jones would appear to be in a bit of trouble. He had passed Kenai Anson, now he's dropped back to 6th position. So Jones maybe has called it quits. Maybe he's trying to conserve the car in the last few laps. Maybe he's got a problem.
3 laps to go.
Stalked by car 9, Bruce Williams. Williams, in fact, is back in 14th position, 2 laps down.
Faulkner coming around turn number 1. This is turn 2. He's heading up the back straight now. Nice, easy line.
It's a little bit twitched, however, midway between the 2 corners.
Jones has got a major problem. I think he's sliding around all over the place.
So you'd have to say maybe tyre problems for Jones.
Yes.
If we look back,
One to go.
Grant Munday there, 2nd position with Mark Seaton right behind him. Look at this race for 2nd position between Munday and Seaton. It's right on between them.
But Faulkner's got the lead, the very comfortable gap. He's driven a lot of this race, in my view, much better fashion than the beginning.
Gets a car.
Having said that, it's sideways.
He's coming around for the last corner, but maybe it was just boyish exuberance.
I think so.
And he takes the checkered flag. Now, what's the race for 2nd position? Here it is.
Munday.
On the outside comes Seaton, but he can't do it. Wyhoon right behind in 4th place.
Munday.
It was Munday who wins, who takes 2nd position. Mark Seaton in 3rd, then Wyhoon in 4th.
Kenai Anson come all the way back up through the field, ended up in 5th. And Bradley Jones did a good job, ended up in 6th spot. But a great win. There he is, the winner on the screen at the moment, the better electrical Fisher Michael Holden Commodore of John Faulkner.
He's done well. And now he's getting out of there to get into his car. I'll have to leave you.
Alan Grice, thank you very much indeed. Very good luck in the next 100 laps. We'll look forward to calling your glorious race victory.
Well, I certainly hope to see you after it.
Well, indeed. Yeah, and the crowd really appreciating the work that... Oh, look at Faulkner lighting him up. Now, that's what you can do in rallying. I'm not absolutely certain that's the thing to do here.
It's become a tradition with John Faulkner when he does get a victory. He did it 2 years ago here at Adelaide. He comes in and does the big burnouts. So Johnny Faulkner there just getting ready to get out of the car. And Ian Campbell getting very close to speak with him in a moment. John Faulkner,
just a bit jubilant, isn't he? Yes.
I tell you what.
Grab him, Ian, and away we go.
Oh, John, a big drive. Tough night at the motor races.
We really needed that race to stay alive in this championship, and it's a great pleasure to race here. It's a fantastic track. I said last year it's one of the best shows on our little circuit, and we hope to win again next year. That's 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Great job on the car, boys.
It's been a big morale booster for you. A bit of bad luck yesterday, and now, of course, the stock car race coming up.
Yeah, it's been crash lately, but the guys have had faith in me, and I'm glad we pulled it off today. Thanks a lot.
Happy John Faulkner down here on victory lane.
Well, Grant Munday in 2nd position also would be a very happy man, and Mark Seaton back in 3rd. I don't think disgraced himself at all, did he, Joe?
I think he did an excellent job. The first of the Fords home. Grant Munday, I tell you what, if there's a sleeper that might be in with a show for a championship, it just might be Grant Munday in the bow repairs, Holden Commodore. He's doing an excellent job.
Well, what a sensational race, the Australian AUSCAR Series, the Petters Classic. The winner was, of course, John Faulkner. In 2nd place was Grant Munday. In 3rd place, Mark Seaton, then Terry Wyhoon, then Kenai Anson in 5th position.
That really was a great drive from Kenai Anson. Then coming up into 6th position was Bradley Jones, the 4-time champion. Max Dejersey did well to be in 7th. Rodney Jane in 8th spot. Anthony Leitch in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Nathan Pretty.